Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another game of the Sept of the Howling Winds Werewolf 20th Anniversary Edition. And today we are focusing on Jong-Lee and Darcy, who are meeting currently on the rooftops of the city. Jong-Lee is sitting up there, for once, not in any workout clothes, but in something a bit more casual shorts, tank top, trench coat over that. He's sitting there on a AC unit, the metal vibrating and cool to the touch, though it's starting to warm up in the light of the noonday sun. Nearby is a cooler that he managed to lug up there filled with something to eat, various drinks, and he's just waiting there patiently, calmly.
Darcy approaches, and Zhongli will notice that Darcy has this a smile that he probably hasn't seen in a long time. And he kind of the wind kind of catches and he brushes some of his hair back behind his ear. And he walks up to Zhongli and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Grave and concerning.
I can understand that. You know, had a very interesting talk with my husband, and I had a very long talk or Sept Alpha. Wow, that was. I understand why he is as high of a ranked Galliard as he is.
Do you have a summary of your conversation with your husband?
I'm letting what I have been wanting to improve myself so much, wanting to get stronger, wanted to not be weak because everything about me in my mind was weak. I wasn't from a big name or a prestigious family. I didn't know very much about guru. I didn't even exercise very much until I found out I was a guru. But there was other things I was good at. I just forgot about them. And it was like I was so focused on becoming stronger that I haven't been noticing the good things that I've done. It's always one more thing. I have to do more. I have to become better. I have to become stronger. I have to protect everyone. But then I've just been kind of leaving myself in the dust. And frankly, I haven't appreciated the person that my husband fell in love with. I was becoming someone else.
Everyone becomes someone else. Over time, we change. That can be a good thing. That can be a bad thing depending on the individual.
He nods. He looks over at Zhongli.
People fall out of love because they don't like the person their partner has become, but adaptation is essential to any relationship, regardless of the connotations. Conversely, we have to be aware of the person we are becoming and either accept it or desire to see further changes. But your husband was correct. You've come farther than you've realized. Which is why I brought you up here. Have a bite to eat.
He grabs something out of the cooler and gets a drink.
I got it from Subway. They do catering things.
He plops down on the air conditioning unit that Jong-Lee's sitting on, and he starts munching.
You're a powerful warrior. You have successfully become alpha of a pack. You're the assistant guardian. You are trying to reform a tribe.
He nods.
You're a member of a newly forming tribe while you're at it. And if that wasn't enough, you're seeking peace between us and the Pharaoh. A term that has now been dropped due to your and others' efforts.
He nods. I There's a lot I've been doing. I haven't been really even realizing how much I've been doing, and
You've been doing
yes,
too much.
yes. Yesterday I got compared to Evan Heals the Past, actually. Uh, Jonas Albrecht told me that I'm a lot like him. And then I realized we have a very similar flaw that kind of hurts us. He wants to do so much that he hasn't seen his pack in 7 years. He hasn't stayed in one place to really make friends. He keeps going for the greater good of the Guru Nation to inspire people, change the Wendigo's dark outlook. And but he's forgot about himself, just like me. And I came to that realization last night that heck, you can be really strong and don't even realize it. He was
Very
so surprised that he was my hero. Like, it just baffled him that somebody could want to aspire to be him. He didn't understand.
well. Then you're ready for this, he says, pulling out his 357 Magnum and then setting it down next to Darcy.
He picks it up and looks at it. He strokes the cool steel.
6 rounds. There's nothing in the chamber because it is a revolver. It has a safety, but unlike a normal gun, it has something called Condition 2, and that's where you pull back the hammer. This has no impact on firing speed. Do not let movies convince you otherwise. It's heavy enough that if you hit someone with it, it'll be like a club. Unlikely to jam on you because it is a revolver and the cylinder is, well, they're beneficial in that way. You're not going to be able to suppress it because the air will escape through the cylinders. Always aim it forward.
He looks at it at Zhang-Li and smiles. For me,
Solves your problem.
it does. And it's not like I don't know how to use a gun. I just
You weren't using them.
nods.
Now you have a bow for one situation, and if they get up in your face, well,
He grins.
it also doesn't require going into Galabro to use it successfully, so should we need to protect the veil, you have an option. Oh yeah, and you can conceal it under a jacket.
And you and I both wear suit jackets. He grins.
Exactly. Whereas your bow, while very useful,
It's very limited.
and now you're armed when you're lying in bed too.
He laughs. You know, Benny actually was going to talk to you about that. He's kind of saying he doesn't want you sneaking into our house anymore.
Well, I won't be around for much longer, so that's not going to be an issue.
He studies Jong-Lee's face.
This is called a quick loader, he says, pulling out a cylinder with 6 rounds in it. Puts it
he,
in Darcy's hand.
he takes it and looks at that.
Always hold it upright until you need to load it. Press on the back, and you will drop the round straight into the cylinder. Those pieces right there line up so that you know that it's clicked into place.
Jong-Lee can tell Darcy's listening, but he's also smiling softly, like just kind of looking at the guns.
That'll save you time rather than having to load one bullet at a time into it.
Be able to fire, reload pretty quickly then. He just like holds his head back and just starts laughing. Sorry.
Also, I lied about acquiring you body armor. It's going to be for me. You, on the other hand, need something that's a little less overt.
He taps his lip and he says, I actually already thought of something.
Have you now?
I found out that I can learn the gift Luna's armor.
Sounds wonderful. If I recall right, though, from my encounter with it before, the guru in question needed a moment of concentration,
That's true.
during which I was able to successfully bypass their defenses and win the sparring match.
He like looks at him for a second and he kind of studies Jong-Lee. He's like, which guru was this? Because I feel like there's a story behind this.
Oh, there is a story. But I am not a gibbous moon.
So true.
So here, I have something for you as well. He says, shrugging off his trench coat and handing it over.
Oh, okay. And he takes the trench coat.
Not as great against firearms as you might not like, but fairly good against knives and claws.
He nods.
Buys you some time while you're activating your gift.
And perhaps I can have an armor Calaman ready.
If you're that type of person, yes.
He shrugs. I don't know if I am that type of person. I've never actually used one.
I prefer to keep as few spiritual relics on my person as detectable.
But that's probably a really good idea, actually.
If you've noticed, it's been very hard for people to locate me, and spiritually tracking me is very difficult too.
the I know one way that could prove fatal. I know that a rank 2 gift, Pulse of the Prey, you could find pretty much anyone. He chooses lip.
There are many things that one can do to track someone using such a technique. That being said, I am not an easy person to track, even by that means.
That's so true. um, Actually, there's one other thing that I have to say.
By all means.
Zhongli, I want you to know that I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're my beta, and I'm glad that you're my friend. I know I don't really say it, but thank you.
You have nothing to thank me for, Darcy.
He studies his face. I would ask you why, but I guess I'm not a no-no. He grins.
Jong-Lee nods his head. So that brings me to our final lesson as your beta. The final thing I can teach you.
He is watching him, listening.
There comes a moment when no matter how far you go, no matter how fast you run, no matter how clever you are or stealthy you move, you will be detected, caught, and found. At that moment, you have to fight. You've already known this. This is the way of our nation, and this is why we tend to have a very short lifespan.
He nods.
What few realize is this applies outside of the battlefield, like many combat lessons do.
He narrows his eyes a little bit, and like he's listening. He's just nodding and kind of waiting an explanation.
I believe the time has finally come for you to let go.
He tears up a little bit, and he just smiles. Yeah, I guess it really is.
You are, whether you like it or not, going to be the face of the Wardens of the Lost. We've talked about that before. Sure, the delegation and the management's going to go to the elders, but they're going to turn right back around and delegate it down to the lower ranks. Why? Because we're the ones who get stuff done. We're the ones who talk to people. We're the ones who happen to get away from the set more frequently.
He nods. I'm what everybody looks at, and you're the ones who do the work.
Precisely. Has Justin converted yet?
He has. I he converted around the same time I did.
Hmm. And your husband is fully devoted to your ideals.
He is. He he's never really been one for the Guru Nation or following werewolves, but he believes in me. And it's funny that even though that he believed in me, I didn't believe in myself. I I hope everything goes well in Connecticut.
I have no doubt it will. I have enough confidence in my own capabilities and foresight to believe that everything is going to go according to plan.
But always be prepared for the unexpected.
Of course,
You taught me that. He grins.
which is why I believe infantry grade combat armor is going to be a little more appropriate to my trench coat, and a clave is going to be infinitely better than my own fang dagger.
I I'm so glad I have not crossed you. You're very terrifying, Jong-Lee. But that's what makes you so great.
I have requested and been granted permission to utilize the Alpha Zone personal clave in battle.
Really? That's awesome.
No, it's terrifying.
I mean, he
And
closes. He looks down.
I lied in front of everyone else. The first lie I've ever told at the Sept. I have been authorized to not gather intelligence, but to eliminate the warder, personally.
He takes a deep breath. Then all this time that you were around me was was very useful for you. Along with bonding with your alpha, you learned about Z's routine, my routine, similarities in how warders should react. I think you'll do really well.
I've already been able to sneak up on their warder once. A second time won't be that much of an issue.
He puts a finger to his lips and he says, "You know, I actually pride myself in my perception skills, and the fact that you could sneak up on me, it just shows your strength."
And it's time for you to revel in your own. As the face of the wardens, I believe that should become your new primary purpose. And the packs as well.
He nods. I
And
still I'm very happy that I'm terrified, but I'm also happy because I get to work with some of my closest friends, people who've made me stronger, people who've made me realize that it's okay to be a little weird. Because, I mean, all of us could die in any second, or why should I worry to the point of despair whenever death could come at any point? Sure, I'm afraid. Sure, it's terrifying, but at the same time, just being afraid and just not doing anything is not really gonna help. Or working myself to the bone. And Zhongli, when you get back, I want you to have some time where you just relax. I don't know if you've really done that a lot.
Darcy, I am the most relaxed person at our sept. The rest of you are pursuing something with your spare time. You're preoccupied with things. You're looking beyond yourself. If I'm not on a mission, I'm working out, I'm training, and I'm not doing it for the reasons you were doing it. I'm not doing it for the reasons that Lost Smile would do it. I'm not doing it for the reasons that almost anyone else at the Sept does it. I do it because you must take time for yourself. My body is a temple to Gaia. And so my hobby is building that temple.
My mind is my gift to Gaia. He grins.
So read more books and enjoy yourself. But yes, I relax. And fortunately for me, I relax more than the rest of you. So I don't end up stressed.
Well, that's very true. And you know what? I made this realization. The only reason that you even were training me so hard is because I was the one who kept saying, I need to get stronger, I need to get stronger. And you were like, okay, let's get you
Exactly.
stronger. Oh,
And you
God.
finally understand. You were the one making the request for all this.
He nods.
If you recall, every time I said it, everything I said or did, I would reply, it's because I'm your beta.
And then I would reply, whatever you whatever you think would make me stronger.
So here we are on a rooftop eating sandwiches because you are my pack mate.
And more than just a packmate, my friend, my family. I think that's the biggest thing. A pack is a family.
3 of the members of the pack are members of the Wardens now.
He nods.
One of the members of the pack is married to the Alpha, and in addition is a cat.
It's a very interesting pack we have here.
And you recall that when we first formed this pack, I agreed because I wanted to aid you. And as I said during my beta challenge, I don't know if you heard what transpired, but the reason I joined was because I wanted to see this tribe become reality.
He smiles.
Lion gives us the social and physical edges necessary to defeat all opposition. And that has miraculously come to pass.
He also gives us the strength of words so that people can listen.
And the social prowess so that others know that we're correct in our statements and our thoughts. So, the pack's purpose isn't complete until such time as you're dead. The pack is now seeking to maintain what it has built.
This is a
After this,
pack. This is a pack to inspire hope.
which is why after the war is over, I will be stepping away.
He smiles and nods.
You've become the best alpha that you could potentially be outside parallel universe theory.
You know,
Now,
and you'll always be a pretty amazing beta.
hmm, but we both know where my heart is in what I'm doing.
He nods.
We also know what my purpose here at the Sept is.
He nods again.
You
You're
have a reputation to maintain.
even if you're gone from our pack, I'll still respect you, and you'll always be my friend. Because I don't think I've he chooses lip. I really value you as a person.
Then stay true to yourself.
I will, because I feel like you would say the same to me.
He gives a smaller nod, slower, deliberate. I know you were concerned about the Farah.
Yes, and it's not something that's been on my immediate focus because I know that Veronica, that's her focus. She was the one who was really into making sure that the Pharaoh were okay. The reason being I was involved to a certain degree was because obviously I'm married to my husband, and it's nice to see people actually respect him.
I would recommend leaving things to Veronica for now,
I agree.
but she's going to have a lot of assistance in the future.
She'll have assistance from me too, but it won't be my focus.
Good. By the way, you should really learn how to shoot that pistol to the best of your ability.
He nods and he looks at the gun and he says, I'll actually start practicing this. I'll still practice with my bow, of course, but
Yes. I don't say that for your sake. I say it because it seems Quiet Fire has taken a certain shine to you, and as a result, will eventually need some training in firearms and their various uses.
I know a little bit, but it's more hunting rifles. I'll study this.
Yes, especially since hunting rifles are fairly useless given your skill with that bow.
Exactly. I only know it because that's what my dad uses. I should be able to pick this up pretty quickly, though.
I have no doubt. But the recoil on those things is massive.
Luckily, I follow Lion. He grins.
Exactly.
Anything else we want to do in the scene, OOC?
Nope, I think this is good.
Me too. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This was a scene in Scepter of the Howling Winds. Good day and bye.